Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of fireside, and that is it. You know, I love the smokiness with the lap sun, right guys? So good, so good. Hope you're joining me with your cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee this morning, hanging out, talking tech, talking photo, talking video, whatever it might be. Today is going to be a photo day. So we're going to get into a little bit of a Mixbook versus Shutterfly and actually look at some of the books. I brought in a couple of books from both companies just to get an idea of which one would work better for you and your clients. Now, before I get into all of this, I want to say that this is an unbiased review. I'm going to let you be the judge of what you think. I'll give you my thoughts, my commentary on it, but in the very end, it's up to you to decide which way to go. The other thing that I would like to ask of you is if you haven't went over to my website, JCristina.com, do so. Go check out JCristina.com/books. You can get free ebooks, a few of them, my 10 tips at making tax sharp images, as well as the prologue to this book that I just wrote, how to create a digital Fort Knox, backing up your digital life. Go check that out. Prologue free, 10 tips at making tax sharp images free. Once again, JCristina.com/books. Now, let me say at the very beginning here is that while this is an unbiased review, I do not know the owners of Shutterfly, but I do know the owner of Mixbook. Now, will this, let's say, hinder me of being unbiased? I think you'll tell by the end of this video it does not. Now, I will show you some pages from both of the books as well as the covers, and once again give you my commentary, but some backstory here of how I got to know the owner over at Mixbooks. Now, once again, unbiased, and this is not being promoted or sponsored or whatever from them. Mixbooks was created by Andrew LaFoon, and he is a brilliant guy and extremely, extremely nice. Now, the way I met him, and me and Trevor Current, we were doing Digital Photography Cafe and doing a lot of social, and we would go from site to site to site and cover the photo and video industry. So we went from WPPI to Photo Plus Expo, wherever we needed to be to cover the industry, and we did it live. So we got a booth and we interviewed a lot of the CEOs. Now, way back then, right around 2015, PMA. Now, if you don't know who PMA is, it's probably because they're out of business. PMA is the Photo Marketing Association. And they used to create an event. This Photo Marketing Association, or PMA conference, was massive. It was probably more akin to Photokina, but here in the United States. And it started in 1979. Well, right around 2014, 2015, things started going south, and they were having a hard time to keep this convention going. So the CEO at the time, Georgia, reached out to 15 or 20 of the market leaders, let's say. It could be photo printing, it could be just photo framing, anything that had to do with photo and video. For us, the reason we were there is because we were social guys, obviously. We were live doing all of these events and interviewing all of the movers and shakers, as well as CEOs of all of the different companies, right? So she brought us all together. We originally started out doing a quick little meetup at the Polaroid Museum, and then that ended up transitioning into Washington, D.C., where we did a 2-day event, a brainstorming event, a think tank, so to speak, on how to save this conference. Now, remember, PMA was around for about 39 years or so, or right around there. Let's call it almost 4 decades. So it was getting to the very end. They hired in people to try to save it, and they brought us all in to try to make this work. Now, one of the people was Andrew LaFoon. So this is how I met him. Once again, brilliant guy, nice guy. So when I'm telling you this and the information that I'm giving you, bear in mind, this is a guy that I respect, and I really think that the product is good, but I think that it could be better. And I'm going to show you why. All right. And I want to get your thoughts on it. So to start out with, in 2019, I did a test run, and I brought in a few books from Mixbook, and they were not good. I ended up returning them and using my local guy. Now, normally I use my local trade because I like to promote local everything. So if I'm buying fruits and vegetables, I'll buy it from a local market, a farm store, right? Why? Because I want to give them my money and not buy them from the retail store like a Publix or wherever that is bringing in this produce and these goods from Guatemala and Honduras and Mexico and everywhere else instead of right here locally. The same thing with print. Many of my prints, the majority of my prints are done here locally. That is both the printing as well as the binding. And some of my products are actually die cut, and those die cuts are also done here on big Heidelberg machines that are, God, 100 years old. For another video. Bottom line here is I'm normally getting this done locally. Well, here we're at 2022. My guy locally could not find paper. So I said, you know what? We're going to go and outsource this out. Where are we going to go? I look up a whole bunch of the print houses, and who do we go to? I see Mixbook. Wow, let's go ahead and use them again. We tried them in 2019. It didn't work out so much, but maybe they're better today. So we did. I ended up going online, putting in all of the pictures. Now, I'm going to show you some of these in just a second. I'm going to have to blur out faces and all the rest of the stuff, as you can imagine. But I think you'll get a gist of it by looking at this. And I'm going to compare the Mixbook with the Shutterfly book because I bought two. And I bought two of each. All right. So that we get a good understanding of what they look like. And there's not one that ends up being good and then one that's bad because there was a production or a run problem. Okay. That all being said, let's dive right into these books, and then I'll give you my commentary over it, and maybe I'll also give you some commentary after on what my thoughts are. So you can see them side by side. One is a little bit smaller than the other. One is about 9 inches or 9.5 inches, and the other one is about 8.5 inches, somewhere right around there. The edge, the binding, is pretty nice on both. On the mixed books, it does have a nice strong binding. I like that little bend to it where it comes together. But you'll see after, even though I do like the exterior binding on the mixed books, on the interior, you do not get that lay flat that you do with Shutterfly. Shutterfly is on the left, whereas the mixed books, obviously you can see on the right. Now let me go ahead and open up some of the pages so you can see what this looks like. Now, the layout is going to be slightly different, but that's okay. We'll get similar images. Now, as you can see here, the colors are not on the same spectrum at all. I mean, when you look at the Mixbook's image, I mean, look at the legs. They are literally gray. It has a green undertone to them. It's absolutely abysmal. I don't even know what else to say. If you didn't have the Shutterfly book to compare it to, you might look at it and say, oh, maybe it's okay. It looks all right. But when you look at it, being an artist or a creative or someone that deals with color, I am the creator of the photo reference tool, the PRT, which allows you to dial in the color exactly how you, so I'm constantly working with color. And when you look at this, I could just immediately look at it and say, you know, there is a ton of problems going on here. The colors are absolutely horrid. Once again, on one side, you have mixed books, and as you can see, the people look dead. They are gray. They look horrible. Whereas on the Shutterfly, it literally looks identical to how I processed it. So let's look at a few other pages here. As you can tell, I mean, they're really not on the same level. Not even close. Now, if we see these side by side, I mean, this is just, I mean, what do you really need to say here? I mean, the blue of the water is exactly how it was when I took the shot, whereas the other image is just horrible. And even with this little girl, she is absolutely tack sharp, even though the image is smaller on the Shutterfly, whereas on the mixed books, she's just not tack sharp. You don't see the hairs as well. It's just not there. Everything is slightly soft in comparison to the Shutterfly book. As you can see, there's almost like a sheen on the blacks. It's hard to tell if the light's not hitting just perfectly, but anywhere that there is like a really dark, deep black where the blacks are plugged, it immediately brings that black to the surface and becomes shiny. It is not good, guys. It is not good. And once again, on the back here, you can see you have this Mixbook logo. Whereas on the other one, on the Shutterfly, you can take that logo off. Now, it costs about $4 or $5 to have that logo removed. Whereas on the Mixbook, you cannot remove the logo at all. Now look at the back cover here. Look at the reds in the couch. Look at the blues of the water of the pool. Just like I said before, the Shutterfly image is exactly how I processed it, whereas the Mixbook is not even close to how I processed it. I could not give this to my client. It does not reflect the work that I did. It does not reflect the images that I took. So what ends up happening is if I would have given this to a client, not only would I have probably not got any work from them any longer, they would have asked for a redo, and then I would have asked Mixbooks to do a redo, and chances are I would have got the exact same book. So some folks are going to be like, maybe you got a bad run. Maybe you got a bad book. Maybe it was a bad run like you got in 2019, now in 2022, and you're just not giving it a fair shake. Did you get an extra book? Like I said before, I did. And here you go. So we have two of these, right? One still in its wrapping, one is out. Two of these. And we have two of these, still in its wrapping. You see any difference, guys? Is there any difference? No. It is absolutely, absolutely abysmal because this is the same book. This right here is the Mixbook, and this is the Shutterfly book. I mean, I hate to do a video like this, but I think that it's very important because this video is as much for you as it is for Andrew. I hope he sees this video, and I hope that he appreciates my thoughts that I gave about him because I do think he's brilliant. I absolutely love what he has done, and I like the idea that he had from day one on how to make things very easy for people to create these albums. He patented the methodology behind building these albums, behind the scenes, the software side of it and whatnot. So he's very smart. And I just feel that the printing process does not match the actual online process and how easy it is, where people could literally take their phone, upload all these images, move things around, do all kinds of things, and then hit print, so to speak, buy it, and within days, let's say a week or so, you end up with a book. I think it's awesome. But when you have other companies out there that are supplying similar books, that are supplying them better, and the print is not even on the exact, it's not even close, okay? I think at this point, you need to reevaluate the printing process and not the customer care process, the customer service process. I don't know if it's the press. I don't know if it's the people that are behind it doing the actual printing. I really don't know. But they need a colorist. They need someone to get in there and dial this thing in. Dial it just, I don't know. It's horrible, guys. In my personal opinion, once again, being, I am an artist. I went to school for fine art. I understand color. I understand color theory. Once again, I was the creator, the inventor of the photo reference tool. I understand how color works. I know how to neutralize color, how to bring colors out, how to use complementary colors in design, right? How to be able to create, like what I did, a dual access color control type of system, where you're not only balancing yellows and cyans, but you're also balancing the greens and magentas to get things just right. I understand it all. And then when you see something that comes out like this, you're like, I don't get it. This is a print company that should be able to print well. And they're not. They're absolutely not. Do I like the binding of the book itself? I do. It's not bad. It's not a lay flat. Remember, at the same price. I could have paid more for a lay flat. It's like this, okay? Which is okay. Which is okay. It's not that it's bad, but I would rather give a book that looks like this to the client, right? That is like a lay flat in comparison to that for the same price. Also, not being able to remove the logo on the inside of this book is a major problem. Why is it a problem? Because now you've just segregated or limited your market to only consumers and no professionals. A professional cannot use this service and give it to a client if they cannot remove the logo. Now, if you want to use Mixbook to print regular prints or cards or anything like that, my understanding is you can have that logo removed. But any of their books, there is no option to remove the logo. You know, if I was to get the book for free and the logo is there as a means of advertisement, the watermark as a means of advertisement, that's okay. But I'm paying over $100 for a couple of these books. I don't want the damn logo. Simple as that. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? I want to know your thoughts. Now, if you used other companies, I want to know what companies you think are great, which ones were not so great, and I want a real unbiased review on whatever it is that you have tried. Because I think it's very important. Someone watching this video is going to be like, well, you know, the Mixbooks, I can't use that. And I get it, all right? Once again, I ordered a couple. It's not like it was a bad run, okay? This is just how they were. And in 2019, I had a similar problem. The colors were abysmal. That was back then. Not the book, not the binding. That's always good. It's a damn color. I don't get it. It's been years. It's 3 years down the road. Fix the color. I don't know. Anyways, once again, I want your unbiased review. And if anyone over at Mixbooks is looking at this, or if Andrew is seeing it, my apologies, but I have to just call it as I see it. And hopefully, this review will help you to fix the problem once and for all. And if you need to, order books from other houses out there, other print houses, and see what they look like in comparison to your books. And you're going to find out that there's a problem, because you will not give this to someone. I promise you, you will not give this to someone. It's gray. The colors are horrendous. And that's it. So anyways, guys, I hope you've gotten something out of this. I'm not one, I don't like throwing anyone under the bus, but doing this review, I didn't have a choice. I really didn't have a choice. And once again, I really like Andrew. He's fantastic. We rode in an Uber to the airport together after doing this think tank. So again, meeting him, I do think he's brilliant, really great guy, and a nice guy. And I don't think that he deserves this as a final output. And just simply looking into your print house and how they can actually get these colors right, I think will do you justice, my friend. I think it will really help out a lot. Anyways, that being said, if you gotten anything out of this video, as always, please throw it a thumbs up. That would be awesome. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There's over 700 videos on here. Also, click this little button over here so when I go live or when a new video comes out, you will be notified of it immediately. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools that I've invented for you and me over the years. And hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. That's it, guys. I'm out of here for another vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you all.